What's going on, guys? Chris here with 4K Motoring, and today, kind of a depressing video, really. You guys that own vehicles know that sometimes it rains, sometimes it pours. It has definitely started to pour here with the 4K Motoring fleet. Let me tell you why. So I don't believe I've mentioned this on previous videos, but I've recently been having issues with my 2018 Nissan Titan XD. When I, attempt to accelerate from the engine, the transmission will have a loud bang, and then it'll put itself in a sort of limp mode where it won't exceed 4,000 RPM and the RPMs will just bounce around. Now, I can still drive it slowly. If I keep the RPMs under 3,000, gradually accelerate, it'll still drive, so it doesn't leave me stranded anywhere. But this has happened a couple times. Generally, it lasts all day. I can shut the truck down, start it back up, it still stays with it. But if I leave it overnight, it seems to correct itself. I've taken it to Nissan once already. They haven't been able to find any code stored in the computer. The truck's not recognizing an error to store that. They have updated the TCU and ECU together to give the latest programming, so hopefully it would catch something or maybe prevent the issue from happening altogether. They did note that the battery was just barely passing their test and is probably going to be due for a warranty replacement soon. It did have some trouble starting today. It started, it was just very slow to do so. So it is possible that there's a voltage related issue where the battery is actually causing this. I don't know. Other people in the forums that have had very similar issues, posted very similar videos, have noted that sometimes the actual throttle body gets replaced. Sometimes it's a torque converter transmission that gets replaced. Really, nobody seemed to have a good idea what's causing it. It's just a couple things get changed and the problem goes away and they don't dive in any further. That said, I do have an appointment for this to go tomorrow to the dealership. It is still under warranty. Again, one of the great things about these trucks, the 5-year, 100,000 mile bumper to bumper warranty. It's awesome, but it's going back tomorrow to see what can be done to fix this issue. It's quite upsetting when some of the newer vehicles you have are just not reliable. Speaking of new vehicles and unreliability, 2022 Ducati Multistrada V4S, it's not without issues by itself. It seems to me as though an evap system has an error. Whenever this bike gets hot, on the couple hot days we've had, on some of the longer rides I've had, it starts building up pressure in the gas tank. And when you open the tank, it vents that pressure out. You can hear a whoosh of air. Sometimes it sprays out gasoline as well. Kind of hard to nail down why this has happened. When you're riding it in those conditions, it also will stutter RPMs. They'll kind of flutter around. When it goes into the rear cylinder deactivation mode, it is stalled out at lights. It has kind of a loss of power getting off the line. It won't re-engage those rear banks of cylinders. It doesn't happen every time. It's really a heat-related sort of thing. I think it's evap related. It seems pretty clear where the problem is coming from. Taking it to the dealer, we've replaced the gas cap with a new electronic one. I'll have a little bit more on that in the future. And we've taken it back again, and the dealer is currently in talks with Ducati North America to figure out exactly what they're going to do about it. Likely ordering a replacement charcoal canister and seeing if that solves the problem. There is no kink tubing that they're able to see on examination. So we'll go from there. If you guys follow Rembo USMC, I'll tag his channel up above here. He has a 2021 Multistrada V4S and has recently left him stranded somewhere. It's just not been restarting once it's been hot. Probably a similar issue. I think he's had the same thing investigated. But it'll be interesting to see. This is not a unique problem, it appears for me. It seems like it's a pretty broad Multistrada issue. So I'll be curious to see what the fix is and what Ducati says about it. And of course, no video about vehicle problems would be complete without talking about our 2001 Corvette. Now this vehicle overall has actually been doing pretty good for its age and mileage. Only a couple little issues have been persistent, none of them major. Recently, the belt has started to squeal pretty badly. And I've put some belt conditioner on. I'll link another channel right up here if you guys follow about diagnosing where the noise is coming from. But I put some belt conditioner on and the belt stopped squealing for a little while, so it's a good indication the noise is coming from the belt and not a pulley. So we ordered a replacement belt. I've got that already. I think it came in earlier today. Have that video up soon where we replace that. Should be a pretty easy job. But just another thing that it's not necessarily an issue that keeps me from driving it, although it could potentially be a sign that it's getting weak and could break. That said, the Germans in the bunch seem to be doing all right. The Porsche is handling pretty well. The windshield washer sprayer came apart again. That fitting I showed on my last video came apart again. I think it's going to be an easy fix. We just need to put some sort of adhesive or some sort of crimp band on that hose to keep it connected. But otherwise, this car is doing just fine. And our Audi, we've had some ups and downs with it recently. Just had a new windshield put in it. We've had some sensor issues with the self-driving stuff. A lot of issues with that. Had water coming in from the sunroof that made its way to the lights, the top console. And that stuff's all been resolved. I think everything's been pretty well handled here. We have all new tires all around it, and everything, at least for the moment, seems to be working just fine on that one. Those are the main issues we're having with our fleet at the moment. Hopefully we figure out what's wrong with the truck pretty soon. That is kind of one of my primary vehicles I like to at least have on hand and be reliable. Hopefully it's not going to require a whole transmission replacement or anything like that. Hopefully it's much easier to sort out. Like I said, I know the battery is weak on this truck, and I'm hoping, and I know on some vehicles that can cause all sorts of electrical gremlins. I'm hoping that can just be replaced and no further issues. As I said, I'll definitely have some more videos for you guys coming up soon. Corvette's going to have a belt replacement coming up, and the Ducati's got some issues that it's being worked out with as well. Stay tuned, guys. I'll show you guys the resolution to this stuff, what I'm able to figure out, and any other issues I'm having. If you guys have any questions or have experienced any of these things yourself, let me know down in the comments below. I'd love to hear about it, and especially what you've done to fix it. Really looking forward to hopefully getting these things back up to 100%. Be nice if all the vehicles I had actually worked. Some of you with multiple vehicles, I'm sure you can relate. As always, appreciate you guys watching 4K Motoring. I'm Chris. Hopefully this will be fixed soon, and we'll be back.